Look at that. Isn't that crazy? It's really struggling to focus on all that gravel. I've never, look at that. Hi everyone, welcome to our home. Norm says hello. He's working outside in the yard, working hard. I was hoping to have some fun with some blue items that I've thrifted pretty much, except for the milk glass candlesticks that have what I believe they consider to be koi fish on the bottom. Norm talked me into that pair from Rogers Antique Mall. It's called the Antique Mall of Rogers, actually, a year ago. And the two large, beautiful birds. I'm not sure if there's any other fancy designer name with those, but I found those on a bottom shelf at Wild Vintage Collective here in the Twin Cities. It's actually in Fridley. So it's not very far from us, and we found a lot of really nice mid-century things there. But this crazy vase in the middle, I will show you a little more up close. Forgive me for trying to stay out of the mirror today. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Actually, it's almost getting to be 4 now. I really wasn't interested in trying to fix my hair better and put on a bunch of makeup, so I'm sorry. I just hope that you don't mind today that I just stay behind the camera. Thank you. This crazy drip glaze vase was from St. Paul. Yeah, it's a hard one for me to remember because there is a mall of St. Paul, which we also love, but we haven't been to this other one for quite a while. And we actually did put out a video on it. I'll put that video up above, link it up above for you. I think I filmed this there. I don't know, but it was a little bit of a splurge for me, but I just thought it was really crazy. It's very big, and it is turquoise blue and white. So I did try to take some other shades of blues and kind of a turquoise blue. I just thrifted those two votives on top of the milk glass candlesticks at Shalom thrift store. They were 50 cents each. And this was, I believe, a thrifted item too, that crazy bird. So I have shown that egret probably in other videos that were for the 4th of July. Since this is still July, I thought it would be fun to see what I could do with some blues, and I did add a little bit of red upstairs. So I'll show you what I did upstairs, and mostly using some of my glass items like on the shadow box over there. And then I have this wild and crazy lucite plaque on the door, and I have shared that before too. So let me get a little closer to some of these things. I hope you are doing very well this July. It's been wonderful here in Minnesota. It has not been that hot until towards the end of the week now. It's going to finally get into the 90s, but it's really been comfortable and plenty of rain. So here's the pretty birds up close. It's really funny. I just noticed that last night that somebody had glued what I would consider sequins on for their eyes. I highly doubt, that they had silver sequin eyes. It's funny, I just never noticed it, and I've had them for a year almost. So yeah, they were a little bit of a splurge too, but I did not have any of this style in white with the huge tails like that. I just think they're really fun. And there's a pair of these that are, what does it say, made in Korea on the bottom. They were thrifted, and I have 2 silver lucite candles. They don't always want to stay straight. They want to push over a little bit because of the foam circle that I have in there that's called a candle hugger. I think they're called candle huggers. But I found another new package of them at Hobby Lobby last Christmas maybe, because I was getting short on them and they were starting to turn orange from being old. They're supposed to be white little round circles. If you've never seen them before, you should be able to find them at Hobby Lobby. So these are the fancy, probably Westmoreland candlesticks that Norm wanted me to get. Yeah, I think they were from the Antique Mall of Rogers, Minnesota, just 5 miles up the highway from us. So that's very convenient for us to go hunting for sweet things. And right across the street is Antiques 101, another very nice place that I enjoy finding things. Isn't this a sweet blue glass candle holder? Yeah, I think I found that at the Goodwill a couple years ago now. Yeah, and I love my lucite candlesticks. Those I picked out. I do have ones with just silver flakes, but these have silver and gold. So isn't that wild? It's probably a hobbyist piece. I don't really know for sure. Yesterday went to Hobby Lobby, and I was hoping to find some white foliage, and there was a lot of choices, but some things are off-white, like even your fancy plume feathers. I'm trying to think of what they're called. Pampas grass, maybe. But yeah, they're a little bit off-white, but I found these, nothing spectacular, but they were $4.99 for one branch. I have 3 branches in there. And I was happy that they're white. So it's plastic stems, and unfortunately, I wish the leaves would have been plastic because they just are crisper when they don't get any little frayed edges on them. But they'll do. So I like my birds and fish. Let's go look at what's in between the door and the mirror there. Something new. You may recall I did just put out a thrifting video at the Family Pathways. These 3 Hummingbird plaques were there, and they were, oh wow, what was it? I'm gonna have to put the price in there, 75 cents each or some ridiculous amount, and I had a discount too. So I'll put a little note at the bottom here. It's really hard for me to always remember figures perfectly. I've done pretty good, but it's just too difficult. So you may remember that I had 3 nails here. I've had many different things that I've changed on this wall. So it's really cool that there were 3 of these. I think they're very sweet, and I'm so glad that I did find them. A lot of times I'll think, you really want those? Even though they're just ridiculously cheap. Do you really want them to store them? Are you gonna find somewhere to put them? This was a last minute thought. that I had these 3 nails out here and maybe they would work. This one I think is kind of odd, but that's how it hangs. They have very definite rings in the back for the nail. So that's how that one hangs. And I had to space them according to where I had my nails. I've had the 3 sea urchin metal art pieces out here previously. So I'm thrilled. I also found a bag for, it was probably 75 cents for the whole bag of 3 cute little brass birds. They are not hummingbirds, they're just little birds. So I love that, and I'm glad to be able to show you something a little different. I'm sorry for that ugly white alarm on both of our doors. I did share this with you last year. I think I found this for $6 in Robbinsdale, Minnesota. I will put the name of the vintage store there. It's they specialize in vinyl records too, so I think that's part of their name. I'm sorry, I'm just not remembering it at the moment, but I did have this at the beginning of possibly last year's 4th of July video, because we haven't had this very long. But that was very shocking to me to find a huge lucite flower and bird plaque for $6. I was stunned. Not my colors, you know, but sorry, that wants to go out of focus, huh? But you know, if I can use it this time of year in July and carry on some of the blue, little red, maybe here and there, that's a very nice find. So I'm thrilled. Over here, I've had this for many, many years and may have only paid like $10 for it. I don't even recall. It could have been from an antique mall that was downtown Minneapolis. It was in an old theater, and it was called Theater Antiques. We loved it. That was the very, I don't know why. I'm using Norm's phone. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? It's really struggling to focus on all that gravel. I've never, look at that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I love this. It's in a very deep frame, very simple wood frame. So this could have been a craft project. I just don't know. You know, I doubt that it came in a kit, but maybe if I stayed a little closer, it would stop doing that. Really goofy, huh? So it does have your typical gold cording that often you will find, and it looks like black. I don't know, is that black cording? Yep. To divide the gravel sections. So there's no identification on the back, but I've always liked it because it's your typical colors, turquoise, orange, and white, and I suppose brown too, black and brown. Can be used if, you know, we did a living room. I'd like to put that video up in the corner for you to check out because it was a really fun video. Norm just loved it when I did our living room in turquoise, orange, and white. Of course, we have brown furniture and black stuff and black fireplace, so those are the same colors. So check out that video. I really did love that. Norm would have been happy if I would have left it that way permanently, but He likes a lot of the different ones that we do, like the green one, all greens for spring. He loved that too. So let's check out the glass, vintage glass that I have found in a lot of different places, and I found them for wonderful prices. A lot of things too from the thrift stores. I think there's only one new item on the shadow box here. The blue cello vase bottle. I don't know if you want to call it a vase or not, but you could certainly put a flower in there. Was from a little shop across the street from the West St. Paul Mall that the big splatter glazed vase was from. And we walked from that big antique mall and had fun filming there. Then we walked down the street a little ways to another smaller one that was kind of a thrift store. Did have vintage items in it. So I think that might have been $6 too. I'd have to look at that video and see if I identify it in there, but it was really inexpensive because it was in a thrift store. So I thought that would be a fun piece. I knew that I would probably put it in the center of this shadow box at some point. So I'm always happy when I find the little baskets and swans. I don't see them very often. The one down there is really a dark cobalt blue. I actually am happier if I find the lighter blue. Those are so much easier to see the patterns on them. And it's funny that the two swans are different. They're most likely salt cellars, but I don't really know what the bigger ones would be used for. And I did find those two big ones at different years. Takes a while. You want to wait until you can find a good deal, preferably. I love the little blue basket in the middle. That may be fairly new for me too. And those are extra fancy votives on the middle shelf there. I like those a lot. I think I got a battery votive in the one on the right. It certainly looks lighter, doesn't it? So I probably shouldn't have done that, but I was switching things around and forgot. I thank you so much for being here today. I know that this isn't as fancy as some seasons or holidays that I may decorate for, but I thought you would still enjoy seeing some cool blues for July. Hot July. I'm downstairs in our lowest stairwell to the basement, of course. I am very excited to show you two new things right here that Norm just refurbished for me. Thank you, Norm. You did a wonderful job. I figured out how to get a small nail out of the very bottom of the wood pieces that held it in place in that wire frame. So it was a pale yellow, the wood. We found these at Antiques Downtown, in Elk River, Minnesota. And it's a wonderful 3-floor mall that we like to frequent because it's not that far from us. So these popped up there. I thought they were in poor condition. The wood was chippy and you could tell they were a different color. than the pale yellow. They were possibly red, because there was another color on back. I think Norm did spray the back for me too, just to clean it up. Instead of looking like 3 times this has been spray painted. But the pale yellow wouldn't have done a whole lot to pop on our gold walls. I love chartreuse green, and it just really looks nicer on the gold wall. I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little strained. I've got my head tilted way back in order to see my phone. I am also standing on a couple inches higher on the threshold going into our laundry room to give me a little bit more height. I'm too short to even be showing these. I had to try to use nails that were already here. So it took a long time to get these fixed. I probably found them early in the winter months. Norm couldn't spray paint them all during the winter and even the spring. It just wasn't warm enough. So he just got these done last month in June. So I'm very excited to show them to you today. I didn't have anything exciting to put on the two of them. So it's funny, it's taken me months to realize that this little black shelf that I thrifted 2 of this past year for like $1 something at the Goodwill typically, did not know it was gonna fit on those 2 screws. So I'm just thrilled. This is high enough that it is not gonna hit anybody's head or shoulder, you know, walking down the stairs. So here's the shelf at the top of the stairs. I did share that was a fairly new purchase too, that vase. A little bit of yellow splatter on that with the green. And I did share that cute little fish and swan previously on this shelf. So there's the blue and green. Most of you who have been with us for all 3 years that we've been making YouTube videos have seen probably one of my favorite shelves. We found this in Hinckley, Minnesota at Antiques America. It's a very fun place. We stopped there this summer on the way up to Duluth for our anniversary trip in April, and it was empty. They had moved. It's maybe only once a year that we get to that mall. This shelf was purchased from them many years ago before I started making YouTube videos. I really loved it, and I think Norm likes it too. It's super fun. We have not repainted it. It could use it. It's pretty dull. I wouldn't mind it having a little more of a satin sheen to it, because it's just easier to dust stuff like that than when it's real flat. I wanted to just put some green in here. I could have had enough turquoisey or more cobalt blue pieces up here, but I've probably done that before for 4th of July. My newest piece is this adorable bottle. That is so cute. And I just don't recall where that was from. Isn't that crazy? I didn't try to look it up either to see if I can find out anything about it, like its age. But I like that very much. This is one of the fanciest toothpick holder. I don't know that it's for a votive, but it sure is neat. It's just eagles and stars. Don't know if you can see that okay. And this one I've shown before, and I also have it in, I think, possibly Amberina with the eagle on it. Maybe a little hard to see that too, but that's a very sweet, skinny little vase. All the others are ones that you've probably seen before. This is a very pretty, kind of a thumbprint design on it. I also have that in Amberina. Really like the Amberina one. And that's a pretty fancy toothpick holder that I would consider the daisy and button design. I like that too. A nice crackle glass picture over there. And this little cobalt blue creamer and sugar, very tiny for a child's dish set. So I thought this was a cool summer look. I have tried to show some of our radios on this bookcase from my brother in videos, and sometimes I try to skip it, but I did just receive a request that my husband, she said, loves old radios. So I am showing these to you now. I hope you enjoy seeing some of them. I do move them around all the time according to what the decor is like upstairs here. And I concentrated 4 green ones up here on the 2 top shelves because of my blue and green theme for July up here. I found these 2, what I thought were vases, at the Pink Squirrel in June. That's in Grantsburg, Wisconsin. We don't go every month. It sure is fun, and we have managed to make some fun videos for you too of that wonderful sale. Everything is so reasonable there. These were $7 each. I didn't take the time to look them up when I was there. I just thought they were some fun, newer vases. Well, when I got home, I tried to find them, and they are still available online, that new, because they're actually supposed to be very fun, tropical, fruity, tiki themed mugs, they called them. They don't look like mugs to me, but I suppose you could get your finger in there somehow to hold on to that. I think looks weird to drink out of, but I suppose most people are drinking out of straws. They're kind of cute for vases, but I decided not to put any foliage in them for today because I do have some there. I just didn't really want to overdo it. To me, they're just vases, and that's what most people must use it for when they bring it home. I think they're very well made in China, of course, but I think they're done very well. I loved the green with the blue for this month. And this I thrifted. It's just really a fun, wild drip. I guess I would call this a vase versus a planter. I did put some beans in there to hold up this cute little bushy plant that does have a little bit of red on some of the tips and a little bit of white. So I thought it went nicely with this, but isn't this crazy? There is no markings on the bottom. I tried to use the Google Lens to find it, but I didn't find it. And you may recall seeing this in a previous video a year or so ago. I don't recall where I would have put it because I don't typically do blue in the living room. I don't do 4th of July videos in the living room. Front entrance is not hard to do, but yeah, I don't have that much stuff to be doing anything like that in the living room. So I'm pretty sure I did show it though. I used a couple of these votives up here to tie in the colors. I put some fun color changing battery votives in there. I accidentally bought a package of 4 of them from Hobby Lobby a year ago. Didn't realize, no, well, that could have been Michael's too. Very possible. But if you try to turn the 2 of them on at the same time, you still just can't get them to coordinate, so I'm not even going to bother. But it does make very pretty colors when it mixes with the turquoise blue glass. Very pretty. So that is a fun look for me to enjoy, and Norm too. He loves any colors. Over here, the large metal shelf, I don't talk about it too much. I just don't recall where we found that. Long time ago. These 2 doves I just found. I was so thrilled. They were reasonable to begin with, but then I saw a sale sign in the booth in Hutchinson, Minnesota at the Treasure Shed, so we do have that on film. I will put that video out eventually that shows a lot of fun things at the Treasure Shed. Another nice long, probably hour-long video. But these I just found there a week ago. I had never seen them before there. I would have purchased them. So that was a real deal, getting those. I just changed that mirror. It was a black one with gold highlights that I had here for our previous video upstairs. I don't know if I had changed that too. I'm always moving that clock around. I don't know why. Anyways, I think I found this crazy, more of an orangey red fish planter from Hutchinson, Minnesota. I'm thinking that's where I got it. And a rooster I found there too that's colored the same California type pottery. It's got a gold eye even. But that was, a year or more ago. These 2 I've shared many times. I just love these Art Deco birds. They are fantastic. They're made by, this is the company that made it, Brown China Company. It's not made in China, it's a China company. So these are old. Boy, are they heavy too. I think it's like 1950s. But wow, they were like only $14 at an antique mall that has moved. It was kind of in the Annandale area, or they moved to Annandale. And I don't remember the name of them right now, but they moved into a smaller place. But we loved going there regularly. This I found in Rochester, Minnesota, quite a few years ago, and I've shown it on all of our Valentine or Christmas videos in the living room, but I wanted to bring it up here. I just love her. What a sweet, sweet dove. It is very much like California dove planters that are 2 doves. They're TV lamps. So I have a black one with the 2 doves on it and a turquoise one. So I could have used the turquoise one somewhere around here in the decor for today, but this is enough. Like it probably would have just been sitting down there. So I've had this vase for a very long time. I've shown it to you many times. It says USA is stamped on the base edge. It's really worked well for how many years ago that I bought it, and I don't remember where that was, but I love it because it goes so nicely with these birds. You hopefully saw my YouTube short where I was doing a happy dance over finding this beautiful turquoise single swan. I'm sure it came in a pair, but that's all that was there in Hastings, Minnesota, a couple weeks back. Reasonable price, I thought. So I wanted to share that today. And I have shown you these two sweet doves before. They were thrifted at Wyoming, Minnesota Family Pathways maybe 2 years ago. Oh, they're so sweet. Just love those. And I just found these white, do you think they're cosmos? I bet they are. You know, the ferny foliage they have. That looks like cosmos. So that's just two of those little branches that I found when I was looking for something white for the front entrance too. So I didn't know which I would use where, but I knew I had a vase up here. So I'm very pleased with how white these are, and simple, very summery. So that's how that looks. I'm really enjoying it. I thought as long as I was showing you turquoise birds that I would share this very fun late 50s to 60s purse. I don't know if these were kits. I have that impression from evidently reading things about them in the past. You ladies may be very aware of Enid Collins purses that were bejeweled like this. She did some more boxy purses that were all wood, and some possibly more similar to this. I've had some. I should have looked that up to see what the shape is, because I do have some photographs from years ago having a couple of hers, and she always would have EC down in the bottom corner, one corner or the other, and then typically the name of the theme of her purse design. So I just thought it would be fun. I've got an owl on a black background, and I've got another purse with a flower arrangement on a black background right now of these. I wouldn't typically collect them, but I found these ones that I have quite a few years ago, and they were so reasonable. Under $20. So that's why I decided to get them. This one is in beautiful condition. I did put my light on so you could see better. Even though I have the ceiling light on above, it's not really catching the front of the purse enough. So it's best if I showed you these crazy jewels and all those little seed beads, probably, that you'd call those, the little tiny ones, on the birds. It's a lot of work. So I'm just thinking that maybe these are kits, but I just looked it up now to see if I could get, confirm more information about the age. So they did say late 50s to 60s, and I was pretty shocked because one just sold on Etsy for $87.68 or something like that. I thought, oh my goodness. So I'll hang on to my 3 for as long as I can put up with the space they take up around here. I have had them hanging on a doorknob in one bedroom or the other, so that's an easy place to have them. They don't stick out that far. Yeah, so I hope you got a kick out of that, and I want to show you one more corner wall up here at the top of the stairs here that I have not shown for quite a long time. Since the birds are white, I thought it would go just fine in this video. I just love these cockatoos. They are so sweet. My brother gave them to me, several years back. We let him see that we really appreciated his things and wanted to display them. And we're really enjoying these. They are Miller Studio from 1979. They did a lot of these sweet chalkware type plaques. They had the gold embellishment on them, but not this heavy. I decided to put way more gold on them. Metallic gold testers I used, and I did share this about them before the first time I had put these here. So I've probably not talked about them for a couple of years, but they are at the top of the stairs here too. I love them with this thrifted starburst mirror. Found that at the Goodwill way back too, I'd say several years ago now. But they look so much prettier with the extra gold on them, so I did go over everything. A lot thicker than what they had put on it. I think, they're typically kind of stingy with the gold. Yeah, and that's sometimes kind of roughly done, but I did not have to do anything with the white. It's really got a beautiful sheen to it. Such a beautiful pearly white. So I wanted to share those with you today. Also, I'd like to end with some garden videos. Just yesterday, we had a very unusual amount of rain that came so quickly out of the blue. The local news channel had put out an article that I happened to catch that called it a rain bomb. Norm and I had never really heard of that before. So there was actually flooding in the Twin Cities area. They showed pictures of the manhole covers just gushing with water. We've already got flooding problems up here as it is. So I want to share that, and then beyond that will be just some overview of the garden early in the morning when the wrens that build in our backyard all the time are singing like crazy. Thank you again for being with us today. We'll see you again soon in the next video, and we want you to stay well, stay happy, and stay safe. We love you guys and appreciate your kind words so much. Bye. Oh, look, you can hardly see the trees and the neighbors ahead, I've never...
This is about the third downpour today, but this
not like this, yeah.
Look at the trees up there.
Wow. Yeah, we were so grateful for the sprinkles that we had this morning. It was enough to give everything a good drink, but this is crazy. They said it would just be spotty showers today, not this. This is really wonderful.